forward here. Okay, hey, so as usual, I'm sitting up on something, and just because it's more comfortable to sit that way, I grabbed a towel out of my linen closet. That's where I keep those. How am I do this? Okay. And then we're gonna make a little roll with the towel. So if you don't have an extra towel, but you have an extra yoga mat around, then that's what you're gonna use. And then I also have a strap. So if you have like a Pilates band or a tie, a scarf, anything at all, we'll use those things, and it should feel really good in your hammies and your calves, at least when you're finished. And yeah, so welcome yoga. Happy Thursday or Friday, depending on where you are in the world. Yeah, so here in Portland, last weekend was gorgeous, and I took this really long walk to meet up with a friend of mine, but I only walked in one direction because she didn't want to walk and be out in the sun. And I got home, and you can't really see it anymore, but I had just like one very sunburned shoulder because I only had the sun on like the one side of me as I walked. And so I'm like in the evening just staring at myself in the mirror like, balance is important. Finding a balance between what we do on each side is important. Finding a balance in the energy that we give to different things is important. Balancing between rest and activity is clearly important because I am absolutely knackered today. But it's a thing that we need to think about, and sometimes you can't help it. Like sometimes you just cannot help the differences between your two sides on things. Like I can't help that the sun is in the south if I'm only going in one direction. I should probably wear more sunscreen. But things like, like I use a spiralizer almost every day with my right arm, and I'm trying to figure out ways to do it with the left. It's not working. But you do what you can to try to balance things out and to notice the differences between your sides, because that's when you're best able to make an adjustment, to make room for yourself and what you need. And there's a yama, the yamas and the niyamas. We have the one we don't talk about ever is brahmacharya, and we don't talk about it because in the monastic traditions that this practice was really originally happening in, the brahmacharya is an instruction to practice celibacy, and that doesn't sound like any fun whatsoever. So we don't want to talk about it. And really that is the direct translation though. So the thing is that the instruction to practice celibacy wasn't just like trying not to be any fun. This was an exercise in preserving your prana and preserving your energy, so that it's not just being like spun out there into the world in ways that you don't need. It's again finding balance. Finding the balance between the places where you want to exert energy and you want to find extension and growth, and places in which we should or could be resting. So, okay, we're gonna move through some things here, some gentle stuff, some play with balance in our bodies, and I want to end with some alternate nostril breathing so that we can isolate the sides as we wind down to rest. So let's start as usual with face brushing. Take the squishy spot at the bottom of your thumb to the center of your forehead, brush outwards towards your temples a few times. And then going from the sides of your nose out to your temples, along your cheekbones. And from your temples down to your chin, along your jawline, and the sides of your nose down to your chin along your laugh lines. Massaging underneath and behind your ears, finding those soft spots and lifting up from the bony spots. Keeping that lift as you rest your hands down into your lap. Maybe close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. Try to balance the length of your inhales and exhales. Breath in through your nose. Go ahead and exhale through your mouth. Again, like that. For 3 always. Extra yoga mat or your towel, and I was making this little tube with it. I'm gonna kind of tie or roll this up. You are blocking everybody's view, and so you've got this tight little tube, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna sit down with bringing this in between the crook of your knees, right behind the crook of your knees. Oh my gosh. Apparently my calves are really tight. I've been having this response all week, and I'm doing this thing where I'm kind of leaning forward. Try not to do that if you're able to. Try to find your hands supporting you. I know, you believe in me. Thank you. Okay, and then just give yourself one more inhale and exhale right here. And you're actually going to move it a little bit more than 2 inches, but try to only move this about 2 inches back, and you kind of just go to the bottom of your calf muscle. Oh, it feels so much better there. Okay, so still massaging the calf muscles, still massaging the hamstrings, but able to sit up with a little bit more ease probably at this point, unless this is the part of your muscles that hurt more and you're just of a different body than I am. That's how it goes. Try to do a little bit more of that resting back. Oh. There's the hamstring spot I was missing. So you're just letting your back be broad, trying not to do like the arch forward thing, just letting yourself settle. One more breath out. And then you're going to take this roll and you're going to shift it back one more time, and it's going to go right kind of above your ankles, so it's on your Achilles, and it's also getting into the very top of your hamstrings, just giving a little massage, maybe kind of gliding your hips gently side to side. If this is now completely uncomfortable, you've got some Achilles stuff going on, if you want to take this out from underneath you just for the next stretch, go ahead and do that. But if you feel okay hanging out here, take your right hand up, lift your left arm up and over, and go ahead and lean your hips over as much as is comfortable to you. So you're leaning your hips to the left and stretching out through that left side. Just take 2 more breaths. And then lift yourself up. We'll go to the other side. Take your left hand down, reach your right arm over, and you're going to lean your hips over towards the right. You're not leaning your hips. Just finding as much space as you can between your hip and your fingertips. One more breath out. And come on up. Go ahead and take your towel, set it to your side. It should be the end of needing it today, unless you decide you want to use it for something later. And then grab your strap. Just go ahead and set that to your side to start off with. Come down onto your back. Let your feet go wider than your hips. Reach your arms back behind you. And roll both of your knees over towards the right, but the left knee will be up in the air, giving that quad stretch. Just a little gentle twist. Just One more breath out. And then taking your knees up and over towards the other side. You might have to, like, I just noticed I needed to kind of wiggle my ribs a little bit in order to feel more balanced. Give yourself freedom to take some small shifts when you move, because when you notice you're out of balance, you don't just stay there in discomfort. You make an adjustment, feel a little bit better about where you're at. Let out your next exhale. Come back to the center. Just letting your feet plant, letting your body relax. And then grab your strap. You're going to hold the strap up above your face. Go ahead and actually wrap around at least once so you have that wrap around your knuckles and kind of pull the strap apart with your hands about shoulder width apart. And then you're going to reach the strap back towards the wall behind you or the space behind you, and you're not going to the floor, you're going for length. You're going for energy in the reach. Take another breath in. And then take this back up above your face. And you can leave your feet on the floor and keep doing this, where you just inhale and reach the arms back. Exhale, take it up above your face, or you can try it with both legs up in the air, and they don't have to be straight, but you want to keep your feet pretty active. Inhale, reach your arms back. Exhale, take that back up above your face. If you want to make this a little bit spicier, take one leg and reach it forward, reach the arms back, inhale, exhale, take it back up above your face, and then switch sides, inhale, and exhale. And take it 2 more times each side. It's really easy to just let the arms go back towards the floor, but you're going to get more out of this if you reach the arms back. Oh, who heard the quaver in my voice? I told you, today is not the energetic day for me. Been doing too much, need to rest. One more leg, one more reach. And then rest it. Go ahead and set your feet down, relax your arms. You're going to take your strap and loop it around the bottom of your right foot, and I will not be bossy for this one. Just get a couple breaths of a hamstring stretch. So you can go for the straight leg stuff, you can go for a bent leg, you can try to lay the leg down on your nose, or you could say, you know what, I'm not going to bother trying to lay my leg down on my nose. This one's just for you. Now this next thing that we're gonna do, you can do it with your left foot just down on the floor. You'll just wanna push down into that foot. I find a little bit more benefit to lengthening the leg out, and that often means, of course, that we have to relax the right leg away from us a little bit. So you're gonna either press your left foot down into the floor or lengthen your left leg out and away from you. Hi guys. We are gonna reach the left arm up and back though, and not onto the ground, but out and back behind, so that you have that length through the left side. And then try to keep that left side steady by lengthening through it as you open the right leg out to the right. And it's, if you fall over, you fall over, but notice how this lengthening through the left side, this strength through the left side kind of supports the right. And then bring it back up, relax this knee. You're just gonna take the strap across the body a little bit, so my right hip stayed down. I'm just getting a little stretch to the outer thigh. One more breath out. Relax your right leg, take the strap off of it, switch to the other side, taking the strap around the bottom of your left foot. You can wrap your hands around it if you like. You can do whatever else you like to hold on to it. And I won't be bossy for this one, just stretch your hamstring. One more full round of breath. Relax into your exhale. And again, you can stay here. You can just push into this right foot, or you can slide the right leg out. You're going to take the strap, both ends will go into your left hand. Reach your right arm back to the wall behind you, not necessarily to the floor. Reach out long. Reach out through your right leg, or press your right foot down into the floor. These things should help, not necessarily a cure-all, but an assistance. As you open that left leg out to the left, I can lower it more, but the wall's there. Yeah. And staying long on the right side. One more exhale. And then let that go. And relax that right side. You're going to take the leg across the body just a little bit. It doesn't go towards you very much because my left hip is staying down. One more breath out. Come back up, go ahead and take the strap off of your left foot. Let the strap go back behind you. Take your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. And then rock yourself up to a seat. And because I'm facing this way, we're going to do the left side first. You're going to take your left shin and bring it kind of parallel towards the mat in front of you. Just let your right leg go back. I'm sitting on my left hip, but I'm not going to go towards my left thigh. I want to go towards my left foot a little bit more. You can sneak this foot up if it feels better to you. Like sneaking my back in feels a little bit better. So just be mindful if you feel kind of tender in your low back, having the leg back that far, just sneak it up. Good, keep stretching to the outer hammies here and to the outer thigh. Take 2 more breaths. Swan pose. And then as you lift yourself up, you do not want to have your right knee in front of your hip, but make sure that your right foot doesn't come too close to your hip. Walk your hands back. Let the knees stay down on the right side. Lift the right hip a little bit. Now stretch to the front of the right hip. Back the left hip. Now in front of the right hip. Maybe you come down to one elbow or to both elbows. You want to feel a little bit more of your hip flexor opening. The hip point kind of lifts up towards your belly button, and if that makes no sense, you're probably just feeling a little bit more open there already, or you're having plenty of stretch with your quad just being in this position. It doesn't need to be everything all the time. One more breath out. And especially if you're back to the right elbow, go ahead and cross the right arm over. Paddle yourself up. You're going to switch legs, taking your right shin forward. Your left leg goes back a little bit or a lot, just depending on what feels good. And it's going to be easier for you, especially at first, to go over the thigh. Try to go over towards the foot. Oh, goodness. Lift yourself up. If you have that leg back a bit, make sure that your knee is just slightly in front of your hip, that your foot is not very close to your hip. You've got some space there. And then start to come back and leave the knee down. Let the hip open up. You might come back to both arms, you might not. You feel like you're drawing the top of this hip point up towards your belly button. Ooh. That whole psoas starts to lengthen. One more exhale. And then cross your left arm over, start to walk yourself up, and then you're going to come up onto your hands and knees. When you get onto your hands and knees, start to work through a few cat and cow Drop your belly and look up as you breathe in. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, opening the chest up and forward. Exhale, round. Take a few more like that. Just working through the front and back and noticing that you aren't completely balanced in the way you can move your spine. Like I can round a lot more than I round into cat a lot more than I can open up anything in cow. One more round of breath. Relax it towards neutral. Walk your knees a little bit wider, pull your hips back, send your hands out in front of you, child's pose. Try to come up to your fingertips so your wrists are up and your elbows roll towards the ground and your upper back is a little bit fuller. One more breath. Relax your hands. Start to lift yourself back up to your table pose. You might have to walk your knees in a little bit more and then send your right leg back. Lift your inner thigh. So you're going to spiral that right inner thigh back behind you. Now you can stay here and maybe just come to your left fingertips or start to reach the left arm out. But let the elbow roll towards the floor like when you were just in child's pose. And reach into your arm and your leg like when we were doing that really hardcore work stuff on your back. Take another breath in. And then lower your hand and your knee down. And then you're going to take your left leg, reach it back behind. Lift the inner thighs, both of them, so you keep the hips kind of sort of squared off. Right fingertips are great. Maybe the right fingertips reach up in front of you. Roll the elbow down, lengthen, and keep your upper back nice and broad. Inhale. Exhale, take the limbs down. Let's start going side to side a few times. Inhale, reaching out long. Exhale, lower. And inhale, reaching out long. Exhale, lower. Just notice one side feels a little more stable than the other. Trying to balance the amount of energy you put into your arms and your legs. Do one more time each side. Next time you send the right arm and left leg out, just go ahead and bring those legs back down. Spread your fingers out, curl your toes, press back to downward dog. Try to push a little bit more into your arms. Maybe bend into your knees a little more. One more exhale. And then bring your feet and your hands closer towards each other. Make sure you've got about 2 fist width in between your feet. Bend your knees as much as you need. Find the softness in your exhale, letting your body round forward. Try to lift your inner thighs just a little bit though. It just helps to keep the knees facing forward, keep the feet and the legs truly parallel. One more breath out. And then bring your fingertips to your shins. Lift up. Find the difference between the softness on your exhale and then this length that you give to your inhale. Then exhale, soften it down. Stand all the way up this time. Take your time with it. Reach your arms all the way up, extending as you breathe in. And then bring your hands down to your heart. If I bring your arms down by your sides, let your palms face forward. If it feels comfy, close your eyes. You can shift your weight around a little bit. We're finding where is center, where is balanced in the way that I plant my feet, in the way that I'm stacking my spine. It keeps going from sunny to the darkest night, storm out there, so sorry about the wind. One more exhale. And then reach your arms up. More or less same thing, but a little bit more extension, a little bit more reaching out through those arms. Try to keep your upper back broad, so not lifting the arms back here, but letting the elbows face forward. Take another little breath in. And And then bend your knees, exhale, hold it down, relax through your spine. And with your fingertips to your shins, lift halfway up, nice big inhale. Exhale, soften. Inhale again, all the way up, lift your arms again. Exhale, take your hands down into your heart. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of play with the wall. I'm going to use this one because you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. I'm just going to kind of kick Patty's foot in the face. You want to have a little bit of wall space that's roughly about your hip height. So just say, stand on your right leg. You'll probably have to hop around a little bit. Like if I were to take my foot here, to see how my foot is behind my hip, I need to come a little bit closer. So you'll either hop around or come down and come back up. So, okay. There we are. Whoop. Yep, I'm just gonna find a plain wall. There we go. So I've got my leg about hip height. If you need to go lower, go lower. If you need to bend this knee, bend your knee. But try to push your foot into the wall and your foot down into the floor. And then take your arms and lift them up. You're gonna reach from your heart out into your hands. And try to press into all four limbs. So both the wall and the floor are getting a lot of energy from your legs. Take another breath in. And then relax your arms. Set the foot down. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to press my hands down to the wall, right about in line with my hips here. I'm going to keep standing on the right leg this time. I'm going to send the left leg back behind me, lift me into the inner thighs, and push into my hands and my foot and my back foot. More exhale. And set your foot down. A nice little down dog at the wall. It's a crowd pleaser for you. Nice and easy in the back of the hamstrings. Let out and exhale. And start to lift yourself up. Okay, crazy there. Okay. And then send yourself back up, tearing down the walls. Okay, from here, yeah, see, told you. Scaring the dog too. Okay, Patty will be fine. Take the other leg up. So you're gonna have your right leg up at the wall. You're gonna be standing on your left. Notice if your hip is trying to get up by your armpit, you'll need to lower it down. Maybe lower your leg. And then reach, oh, I'm a little, there we go. I'm a little close, a little far away. There we go, okay. And then send your arms up, push into both of your feet, lift both inner thighs. Try to broaden your upper back. Mine was getting a little pinchy there. And try to reach into all four limbs. One more breath in. And then relax your arms down. Relax your right leg down. And then you're going to send the right leg back behind you. You'll bring your hands onto the wall about hip height. Reach that right leg back, and then you're going to spiral the inner thigh up. Push from your heart into your hands. One more exhale. And set both feet down. You can bend into your knees a little bit. Push your hands into the wall. Feel your hips pulling into the center of the room. One more breath out. And start to lift yourself up. Once you get yourself up, bring yourself back away from the wall onto your mat space. No, it's just dark everywhere. We don't know what to do. Okay, find a warrior one. So take your right foot forward. Back toes are up a little bit. You're going to lift your arms. Bring your palms together and your thumbs towards the back of your head. Or your hands are open and your elbows are open here. Your hands weave behind your head. Either is fine. Try to lift up from the back of your heart, push into the back foot. Let your head rest back a little bit. One more breath in. Relax your heart. Release your arms. Take the back foot, step it up a little bit, just a little bit. Straighten the front leg. I've still got some space right to left between my feet. I'm going to come down over this right leg. You can bend it a little bit. Maybe you take your hands to the floor. Maybe you decide to put blocks under your hands, or use a couch or chair or something. Just let your body soften into this fold. so sorry, the robots are taking over. I don't even know what that was. Oh god, one more exhale. Then start to lift yourself back up, stand up gently, and switch your legs. I don't know what that was. Something about childcare and holding on to this thing. I don't know who's driving this thing. Okay, warrior one on the other side. Left leg forward, reaching your arms up. And then you're going to bring your hands back behind your head. You can interlace your fingers of your elbows out wide, or bring the palms towards each other into the back of your head. Try to relax your head back, but energize, lift your heart up and forward. And using the back foot to help with that. Relax the space in between your eye bones and your neck bones. One more breath in. Exhale, relax the heart, relax the arms. You're going to take the back foot, step it up slightly. This front leg is more or less straight, but it could bend a little bit. You're going to soften forward over your legs, maybe down to the leg, maybe down to the floor, maybe down to something else. One more exhale. A little bend in your left leg to protect you as you stand yourself up, and then bring both feet up towards the front of your space. Set the feet down right underneath your hips. Lengthen through the fronts of the hips. Lift your arms up. We're going to do a little bit of balance work. You're going to stand on your right leg, send your left leg out and forward, and try to reach into your hands in both legs. Take a breath in. And reach the leg back behind you. You can reach your arms forward, but it's way spicier. I'm just too tired for it. You can reach your arms back with me or out to the side like airplane wings. Press into both legs up. And then you're going to swing the arms back up. Send the leg out and forward. Breathe in. Exhale. Reach the hands and the leg back behind you. Exhale. Inhale. Reach it up and forward. Exhale, reach it back. And then try one more time. Ooh, just kind of moving with your breath. Maybe falling over with your breath. And then stand on up, set both of your feet down where you're used to them being underneath you. Lift your arms up. Just notice what feels different between the sides. And then send your right leg forward, so you're staying on the other leg. Reach into all four of your limbs. And then you're going to reach your right leg back, your arms back, your heart forward, maybe your arms forward, I don't know. And switch between the two poses. Inhale, reach it forward and up. Exhale, send it back and up. Oh gosh. And then inhale, coming up. Exhale. Reach it back. One more time. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, going back. And then stand up, set the feet down underneath your hips, lift your arms up. Even having done roughly the same thing on each side, you probably feel different from right to left, just noticing it, taking it in, accepting it, because you can't do much about it. One more breath in. And then come on down. You're going to bring your hands down, walk your feet back, find a downward dog. In your downward dog, try to reach again into all four of your limbs and lift your inner thighs a little bit. One more exhale. And gently lower your knees down. Come down to your elbows. Touch opposing elbows. That's how far your elbows are apart, and they don't go any further. And take your hands in front of you, interlace your fingers. You're going to push from your heart down into your hands, opening your upper back. You can rest and just relax your head down here. Just a little bit of upper arm and shoulder strength if you like. Knees pretty close to elbows, then curling the toes under and dolphin. And dolphin isn't over here, and it's not falling down into the shoulders. It's Open across the upper back, lifting back in the inner thighs and hips. Pressing from the heart down through the elbows. One more breath in. And gently lower your knees down. If you had them up, untuck your toes, sit back to child's pose. You can crawl the arms out, or you can bend the elbows, bringing the thumbs towards the back of your head. One more breath out. And releasing your hands. You're going to lift yourself up. You're going to take your feet out in front of you, feet together, knees out wide, hold onto your ankles, lift up long through your spine. Kind of let your heart come a little bit in front of the arm bones. Sitting up nice and tall. You can stay here, stick with this, or start to come forward into a fold if that feels good to you. Either is fine. Honor what your body needs. One more exhale. And then you're going to close the legs up. So you're going to bring your feet about hip width apart. Take your hands back behind you. Try to have the fingertips facing mostly forward, and then push into the feet. Feel all four corners of the feet first. Lift your hips up, altar pose. Try to push down into your hands, lift your heart above your shoulders. One more breath in. And then gently lower the hips down. So you're going to lower down onto your back, tuck your heels in closer by your hips. Start to snuggle your shoulders under your back, and then press into your feet, lifting up again into bridge pose. Maybe you can wiggle your shoulders in more. Hold hips or hold hands underneath your hips, and then use all four corners of your feet. You might feel the hip flexors, the inner thighs, really lifting and opening you up more. One more breath in. Relax your shoulders. Let your hips come back down towards the floor. Now bring your knees into your chest. And then open your knees up, reach in between your legs, still hold on to your feet. So bound angle or butterfly pose on your back, a little different than happy baby. If you insist and happy baby sounds better, you could do that, but just as a different offering, maybe do this. One more exhale. Release your feet, bring your knees towards each other. You're going to rock yourself back up to a seat. And take your right leg dried and your left leg extended out. Sometimes we talk about this, the knee pressing down will tend to roll your hip back. So try to pull the thigh bone in so your hips come forward a little bit. And then come out over your left leg to whatever degree feels good to you. You can even bend your knee if that feels better in your hamstring. One more exhale. Start to lift yourself up. You're going to take your right hand back about a foot or so away from your hip. You can stay here and just kind of roll onto the hip, or you're going to press down into your shin. Lift your hips and your heart up. Stargazer, opening that front side of your body, reaching out long through the left side. Then gently lower your hips back down. Switch sides, taking your right leg forward, your left leg in. Might need to adjust your seat a little bit. Feel the thigh bone coming back. Tilting your pelvis forward, coming out over that leg wherever it feels good. Not wherever I'm doing it or you see other squares on the screen doing it, wherever it feels good for you. more breath out. Start to pick yourself up. You're going to take your left hand back about a foot or so behind your hip. You can stay here, just lift your arm up or push up onto the shin. Press the floor away with your left arm. The left arm is carrying a lot of it, a lot of the weight, a lot of the effort. Take another big breath in. And then you're going to lower your hips down. And you're going to come into your own version of a comfy seat. And come a little closer to you so that you can see the bizarre alternate nostril thing that we're doing. So your index finger and your middle finger are going to go to the center of your forehead. Your thumb and your ring finger are going to be closing off opposing nostrils, just to kind of like clear out each individual side as you breathe. And what you do is you close off one and you breathe in, and then you switch to breathe out, and then you breathe in through the same side, and then you switch to breathe out. So take your first two fingers into the center of your forehead, or your third eye space. Leave both nostrils open. Take a nice big breath in and out. And close your right nostril. Breathe in through your left. Close your left. Breathe out through your right. Breathe in through your right. Switch to breathe out through your left. Breathe in through your left. Switch to breathe out through your right. Breathe in through the right. Switch to the left. Breathe in through the left. Switch to the right. Keep going on your own. Switching for the exhale. And if you do at some point need to grab a tissue or something, this really is an exercise to clear you out, because it kind of forces your attention into each channel, each nostril. Take one more round of breath. Finishing up, exhaling through the right side. And relax your arms down. Just take a few breaths using both nostrils or your mouth if you need it at this point. Coming down onto your back. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Your arms open up and your knees roll over towards the right side. Let your belly soften. Relaxing the left shoulder, taking one more exhale. And bringing your knees over towards the other side. And finding maybe some small shifts or adjustments to find a balanced twist. One more exhale. And come Come back to the center, bring your knees in, cross one ankle over the other, reach outside of your legs to hold on to your feet or your ankles, your shins, whatever feels good to you. And then you might stay there, or you might cross knee on top of knee, so you're still reaching outside the legs to hold on to your shins or your ankles or your feet somewhere along there. One more breath out. And then unwind your legs. Start with crossing the feet or the ankles in the opposite direction, holding on from the outsides. Staying there. We're moving to having the thighs cross, the knees cross, reach outside of your legs, holding your feet. One more exhale. And unwinding the legs, taking the soles of your feet down, opening up the knees so that your inner thighs are open. You can take your fingertips under, or maybe squeezing something underneath your thighs to help support the opening. Letting yourself soften, melting into the floor. One more breath out. And close your knees back in. Slide your legs out a little wider than hip width maybe. Reach your arms out and back behind you. Take a nice big breath in, letting your body fill up and then softening as you exhale. Doing that again, big breath in, the extension, the energy. With the exhale, the softening, the letting go. And take your right ankle over onto your left ankle, so both legs are on the left side. Your right arm to the left arm, both arms on the left side. Pull the left hand or the right hand a little bit, seeing if you can open up through the outside of the shoulder and the hip a little further on that right side. Excuse me. One more breath out. And separating the arms, the legs, coming back to that X shape, noticing the difference between the sides. Moving your left ankle over onto your right ankle, your left arm over to your right arm. Maybe pulling gently on that left arm to lengthen the outside. Feeling the stretch outside your shoulder and your hip. One more breath out. And then come back to the X shape. Take a nice full breath in. Feel your body filling up, expanding, and softening as you exhale. Noticing again, just the difference between the sides. Like we did both sides. We did both sides of a lot of things. We tried to put even energy into a lot of things, and it just happens to be different. If there's anything else that your body needs to feel a little bit more balanced, like the practice has been finished by a couple of additional poses or movements, you can do that. Otherwise, start to bring your arms in by your sides. Make a small wiggle of your shoulder blades underneath your heart so your heart is gently a little bit more open. You can always bend your knees or roll yourself over and take a seated meditation. We'll rest for a few more minutes before wrapping up together. back to your breath. Breathing a bit more deeply. Manipulate your fingers and toes. Roll over to one side. Try to roll the way you don't normally roll, just to do something a little different. Check out the other side. Still offering a moment of gratitude for your practice, for seeking balance for yourself on the mat today. Start to come up and find your own version of a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands together at your heart. A seal practice, releasing and Om together. Big breath in. Bowing down to the love and light, the light and the darkness, the balance between the two that resides within each of our hearts. Namaste. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Let me know if you have any questions, if you need anything, requests, all the usual.